Hello everyone, welcome to Quick Eyes. I'm Sachin and today is a very special day, but I have one of the best persons from the eyewear industry and I have been looking forward to him, and many of his clients, his teammates really want to hear more and more from him about what is happening in and around, so that his vision helps other to grow also. So I have one of the best guests till date which I had on my channel in his same trademark uniform, which is a band gala, and I have Akash Goyle with me. I was also trying to wear a band gala in morning, but then मुझे लगा मेरा button बंद करूँगा ना तो button ही चमकेगा और कुछ चमकेगा नहीं. That's the reason I didn't wear it.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you. Thanks a lot. In fact, that this Bandgala has an interesting anecdote. So, my farewell that happened in Bangalore.
Okay.
Right? So, Venu, the new president for Greater India, he had the entire leadership team wear a Bandgala.
Oh, अच्छा. I didn't saw that video. I saw a video of Gurgaon, I think.
Yeah. So this was. I'll share a picture with you. Okay. So this was the entire leadership team wearing a Bandgala. Okay. I think that was a very nice gesture.
Oh, really nice. So you have been wearing this Bangala since like
quite some time ago. I come in from the, let's say, the apparel industry, but I was never expected to wear formals there.
Okay.
Right. So when you're dealing with brands like Lee, Wrangler, Tommy Hilfiger, casual is absolutely fine.
Correct.
Right. And so when I came in here, and when you start going to these international fairs like Mido and Silmo, wearing a suit or a blazer was very tough for me. I'm not used to that at all. So this was something that I started wearing long before Modi became what Modi is. So,
Okay.
So it is not that. Okay. I've been wearing this for quite a number of years now. So yeah, that's the story.
Great. So the main reason everyone wants to know is from Monday where you are going. After Delhi, you are putting up your base now in Bombay. So though that was the last question, but I have just put it first because even the brief which you shared, उसमें भी आपने कुछ मतलब clear words में नहीं लिखा है. So it would be great if you clearly tell.
Okay, let me put it this way. I am not saying goodbye to the industry forever.
Oh,
right?
That's
it's an industry where I have been a part of this industry for almost 2 decades now.
Okay.
Right, and I am what I am today. I owe a lot of that to the industry. Right. I'm moving into an adjacent space as far as the industry is concerned. For me, this is a very difficult decision, Sachin. Right? I know people say that, but then you must realize, for me, when I joined this company, we were a very small, not even a proper subsidiary at that point of time. In fact, the subsidiary was created after I joined. Right? So. And that's where we started from. This business has grown, or rather, I have grown along with the business for all these years. I think at some level, I said, okay, maybe I need to challenge myself a little more.
Okay.
Right. And that's what I'm taking forward. This is a couple of things that have worked very well for me in the past is you dream a dream, you have a fantastic team to support you and that believes in the team, believes in the vision, right? And then you just go out and execute it and have fun doing that. That's been my leadership style or my philosophy all throughout. I would want to do that all over again. That's the only way that I can rationalize this. Otherwise, if you ask me to rationalize this decision, I can't. I really can't.
Great. So we will come back to leadership because I have heard a lot about you and I really want to do a more depth into that. But before that, I want to know from where you started. Like your first job wasn't Luxottica, I think. It was something else. If you can just start from the beginning.
Okay. I started as an intern with Dabur India Limited. Okay. Right. So this was my first job after my MBA.
Okay.
Right? You walk into Dabur India and you are like, okay, boss, I've arrived in life. I have done my MBA. I'll get an AC cabin. Okay. The first thing that happens to me is that my regional manager takes me, puts me in a small kirana store.
Okay.
And tells the kirana store owner that you ask your helper to go on leave for 3 days. And for the next 3 days, this is the guy who will do everything that your boy does.
Oh.
Right? And so that's where I started.
Which year
from.
was this?
This was 1996. And this place I'm talking about is Gwaltoli in Kanpur. A lot of people would have not even heard about Gwaltoli in Kanpur, right? Oh. So this was my first initiation into sales and distribution.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was as an intern. Then I was sent to Bihar as a area sales manager, right?
For
And
Dabur.
for Dabur, very interesting anecdote there too. So this can be a completely different podcast. So let's move on. From 1999, this is 3 years in Dabur, three and a half years in Dabur, and at that point of time, retail was the sunrise industry. I got an opportunity to work in retail. I spent about 8 years in retail, brands like Arrow, Lee, Wrangler, Tommy Hilfiger, Lacoste. So very interesting journey. Retail, quite a lot of the retail explosion that happened in the country, right, was happening around that particular moment.
Okay.
Right. Luxottica was kind of a natural progression because from selling premium apparel to suddenly you walk into, not suddenly, but you kind of take the conscious call that, okay, let me walk into premium accessories, right?
Okay.
And that was Luxottica. This was to this date about what, 18 and a half years ago, 18 years, 7 months.
Okay.
So this was October 2007 is when I walked into Luxottica. Again, very different. If you ask me very honestly, I did have second thoughts after I had joined. I was like, where am I? Because I had come in from a very structured environment. Because in retail, specifically when you are running stores, you have very defined SOPs, very structured environment. And here you're walking into a pure wholesale operation. The industry was very commoditized at that point of time, highly unorganized. Brands were practically non-existent. Yes, there were brands like Ray-Ban there, but then quite a lot of the business used to be a very limited assortment. Brands, if any, used to be a lot of stock lots, right? And so for the last 2 decades, it's been fun, right? And I do kind of when I reflect back and I see that, yeah, maybe I did play a important part in professionalizing the ecosystem, scaling the industry, shaping the category. It's been very interesting, Sachin, this last 19 years.
Interesting. So, do you remember who was the first person in the industry whom you met? Maybe as a wholesaler or as a distributor or as a retailer?
So I walk into the office wearing a Lacoste frame, right?
Acha,
And I was kicked out of the office.
Acha,
And
okay.
I was told, go get a frame for yourself, which is a Luxottica frame. So I remember I had gone to Navneet's store, Dayal Khan Market.
Okay.
There was only one store at that point of time, what we call as DO1 today. So that was the store that I walked in, and I chose a frame there. And probably Navneet was the first person that I met in the industry.
Oh, okay. And Lacoste frames were available during that time?
Yeah, Lacoste frame used to be available. Lacoste at that point in time, if I remember correctly, used to be done by Sharma. I think it was done by them at that point of time.
Sharma, someone in Bombay?
No, Sharman.
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 Okay. CHARMANT.
So they used to do the Lacoste frames at that point of time.
Okay.
I don't think we have Lacoste frames today.
No,
I'm not very sure.
I don't think we have.
I'm not very sure.
Then, as you mentioned, you had second thoughts after you had joined. So, क्या आया आपके दिमाग में कि where is the gap you felt?
See, it was so first and foremost there was no defined policies or structure to the business. Like something as simple as in terms of when you are dealing with a customer, what are the policies that you have? What is the credit policy that you have? What is the let's say there was no talk about a business plan per se.
Correct.
Right. And it was not from the point of view of putting in a structure. For me, it was also from the point of view of defining what we can do together. And that is what was kind of
Missing.
It was missing at that point of time.
Correct.
And that was not something that I was used to.
Okay.
Right. So that was, I think, the key thing. The commoditization of the category at that point of time, or the highly unorganized part of the industry at that point of time, was okay. That is something that specifically when you come in from retail and you have a lot of franchisees on the other side, that was something that you had seen.
Correct.
But what I was not okay with, or what I was uncomfortable with, was that okay, chalta hai. Not something that I was okay
Correct.
with.
Correct. So you joined Luxottica as a
Key account manager.
key account manager. So you used to handle the major accounts.
There was no key account with Luxottica.
Acha, acha, there was- okay.
When I joined, there weren't any key accounts, right? And so my basic brief and the reason I was hired was to launch Sunglass Hut in the country.
Oh,
So that was the brief that was given to me.
Okay.
And since there was no key account function at that point of time, I was also kind of asked to develop the key account function.
Okay.
So I remember Shopper Stop was my first customer that was given to me.
Oh,
The
acha,
business,
you did that also. Okay.
so the business that we used to do with Shopper Stop at that point of time was, if I remember correctly, some 7-10 lakh rupees a year.
A year.
That was the business, right? And then from there it kind of scaled
And
up.
which brands you used to sell except Ray-Ban?
Ray-Ban. There was only Ray-Ban there. There wasn't any brand.
Okay.
I'm
Killer
talking
Loop
about-
wasn't there during that time.
No, 2007 when I joined, there was only Ray-Ban. We are not selling anything else. Okay, let me not say not selling anything else. There was very limited distribution for other brands. And even with Ray-Ban, the primary sales used to happen for what we used to manufacture in our factory in Bhiwadi.
Oh,
So-
3025.
3025, and there were some other models also. I remember this was 2008, I guess.
Okay.
We launched Wayfarer in the country, and it was a very big event.
Okay. Acha, during that time, it was launched in India.
Yeah, 2140. I still remember 2140 with that pentoscopic tilt.
Yeah. That was also made in Bhiwadi.
No, that was made in Italy. It was one of those products where we said that okay, we will now start selling international products in India. Right. So this was 2008 launch
Okay.
that we did.
So then, slowly, what changes you saw happening, and what all changes you did within Luxottica?
Changes that I saw happening is manifold, Sachin. I think, see, from a commodity-driven business, right, to today when you see a very highly sophisticated, technically driven retail industry, where fashion plays an integral part, right? That's the change. I'll give you an example. Sunglass as a category did not exist.
Okay.
Retailers, there were a few ECPs which used to sell a little bit of Ray-Ban, right? And that was it. That was sunglasses.
Okay.
Today, sunglasses are an integral part of revenue for any ECP. And not only for revenue, it is even for positioning. I can't imagine an ECP today saying that I will not deal in sunglasses. So that's the change that I'm talking about. And that I would say that yes, the team here has played a very important role in catalyzing that change.
Okay. So then, after working as a key accounts manager, then how long did you work as a CAM, and then how you moved?
So as a key account person handling key accounts, I did that for about 3 odd years. A little more than 3 years is what I did that, and then I got the opportunity of kind of leading the subsidiary here. So from 2011 January is when I started leading the subsidiary here in India.
India. Okay.
So interesting journey, interesting 15 plus years now.
Great. So I also saw you. I didn't knew that Vogue was something which was started in India, and then globally people started looking up.
Not started in India, but then okay. See, Vogue as a brand existed.
Okay.
See, in India, I'm talking about a period where optical frames were seen as a medical device, right?
Correct.
And specifically, if you look at young girls and women, they used to stay away from optical frames.
I agree.
There used to be this कि अगर चश्मा पहनती है तो शादी नहीं होगी. Right? That was the time kind of we said that okay, let's see, let's kind of take a punt. Can we position eyewear as a fashion accessory?
Okay.
And Vogue was the first brand that did that. Like Vogue, so if you look back, the template that was designed for Vogue eyewear in India, whether it was in terms of product, whether it was in terms of pricing, whether it was in terms of assortment, whether it was in terms of communication, that same template was used globally. right? And today Vogue, and I do take a lot of credit on this on behalf of the team, of course, that the Vogue as a brand today, quite a lot of that credit goes to the template that was created by the India team, right? So that was also in a way a turning point, right? In a sense that what we were able to deliver on Vogue, it opened a lot of doors for us in corporate because that trust came in the India team.
Okay.
And we owe a huge amount of success of what the India team was able to do thereafter to what happened with Vogue.
So now Vogue is a brand which is available across the globe for
Yeah,
Luxottica.
it is, of course. It is
And
a
the
global
price
brand.
point is almost similar.
It is a global brand. It was a global brand at that point of time too, but then it wasn't what it is today, not in the current form.
Okay. And Vogue is also, many of the models come from Indian subcontinent only, or it comes from global also?
So we have this concept. So when I talked about the template, one of the things that we addressed when we said that we would want to launch it as a fashion accessory is that we need to have a collection which is designed for India.
Okay, acha.
Right. So depending on the Indian face type, depending on the complexion, depending on the shapes that are preferred, so we developed a specific India collection. It does not necessarily mean that it is manufactured in India.
Okay.
Right. It is designed for India. So it is still designed internationally. We still work with the product team internationally, which does that product specifically for the Indian market. Sometimes also you feel very proud when you go for our international events. Now that same collection is also available internationally for some markets. And when you have somebody coming in from the Middle East or some other place and saying that, okay, we would like to see the Design for India collection, we do feel proud. It is still called the Design for India collection in Luxottica.
Correct. I really want to, I was discussing with someone else also. I find Killer Loop was one of the brand which did really good during some time in India.
Yeah,
Killer Loop. It is closed completely.
This was one of the first projects that I did.
Okay.
So I was still a key account manager at that point of time, and so you say empty vessel makes a lot of noise. So these guys decided that okay, he needs to be engaged. Sunglass hat will happen when it happens, but we need to give him something to do. Right. So Killer Loop was given to me as a project. Started worked with the with our factories directly in China and Italy. Got a collection together. Launched it in the country. Made a lot of mistakes. Learned a lot. Right, from those mistakes. Right, but this was a important moment from the point of view that this was kind of the foundation which helped us do what we were able to do with Vogue. Right? So Killer Loop was that. Ultimately, so we did do decent business in Killer Loop. I remember at that point of time we had reached almost 100,000 units on Killer Loop in a year, which was not small. I'm talking about 2008-9, which wasn't small at all. Right? But then in the global system, making a product specifically only for India, and it became a little complicated, right? So the idea at that point of time also was that why not have a brand which is already existing in our portfolio and kind of extend that brand. That is when this Vogue DFI kind of came in.
So you have seen very different phases. So this was more of an initial Ray-Ban, Vogue, Killer Loop. But then how brands like D&G, Versace came in India and then started scaling up. So that's the time I would say when the game changed even in Indian market. 10-15 हजार का sunglass बेचना at a really big scale is not easy. So how does that thing happen in Luxottica?
See, for a long time, the market in India has been value for money.
Correct.
Right. And there was this period that kind of came in between. I'm talking about the middle of, say, around 2013, 14, 15, that period, right, where value for money started transitioning to value for status. Right? And that's when these luxury premium brands kind of started gaining traction. It was also a lot of trust which was shown in the India team to launch those brands in the country, because these were licensed brands at the end of the day, right? So the licensor also had to agree to extend distribution of these brands in our market, and there the credibility of the team was something which helped a lot in terms of getting these brands. I remember my first fair. This was, I think, Silmo. Uh, there was only one or two retailers who had access to Prada at that point of time.
And this was which year?
This would have been, I was still not the country manager, so I'm guessing this would be 2008-9, that period.
So you went to Meadow during that time?
This was Silmo fair.
Okay.
And we never used to get any appointments, right? India was a very small business, and Prada, as an exception, was open for one or two retailers. With this retailer, I have literally sat down on the floor.
In Silmo?
In Silmo. I used to go into a room, beg for a tray, bring that tray, show it to this retailer. The retailer will select a piece. I will take that tray back, then get another tray, right? And that's how we started. So it's been a long journey on this. But I must say the retailers also, they also realize the power of brands, and they also changed the way the stores are, the way the brands are represented or respected. Right? They also did that. We also played a role in terms of advertising these brands, in terms of putting in investments inside the stores, speaking about those brands. For a long time, the toughest thing that we used to face was you do not have the right ambience for a brand inside the store, right? Or you did not have the right, let's say, distribution available where you could distribute these brands. So there, the retailers also played a role in terms of upgrading their stores, in terms of opening better looking stores. So that also helped.
So for you in this whole course, which time you find was the toughest, जो आप change करना चाह रहे थे और वो change हो भी गया, और कुछ ऐसा भी होगा जो change नहीं हुआ हो?
देखो, there is a saying that I have, which is everything will be okay in the end. If it is not okay, it is not the end.
Okay.
Right. So this has been a journey. इतने चेंज हुए हैं यहाँ पर. I have seen the financial crisis in 2008-9, right? Then there was this demonetization, then there was GST, then there was COVID, then there are so many changes that have happened in the past years, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि there was a period which was very tough, and सारे period ही tough थे, but then we enjoyed every moment of that. And I think a lot of that credit goes to the team. I had fun each and every day. For me, I've been blessed that I've had a fantastic team all throughout. Right? Many of them, they have been around in the industry with Essilor Luxottica for quite a period of time. It is simply because all of us have had fun every day. We used to say this. In fact, this was a question asked to me when I had gone in for a recruitment to one of the premier institutes. So they asked that, what keeps you at Luxottica, or what is your philosophy? I said, my philosophy is, if you feel jumping out of bed every day in the morning to go to work, then you are at the right place.
Correct. 100%.
And that was Essilor Luxottica for me. Right.
You were talking about team, so I came across many people saying that Akash is like a employee's manager. Every employee want to have a manager like Akash. Because for him, clients and all are important, but first employee preferences and benefit has to be taken care of.
See, brands and companies will be, or a company will be respected only when the employee is respected, right? Because at the end of the day, the respect for a brand and the respect for the company starts in-house. It starts with the employee. If you do not respect the employee, you cannot expect the employee to respect the brand and the company, right? So, and that's a philosophy that I have stood by. Saying that, okay, I have been an employee's manager, let me put it in another way, right? I look at it in a sense that there is a reason why someone has a job, right? And if I start attempting doing their job, then there is no reason for them to exist. Right?
Correct.
So you leave people, you let them do whatever they want to do, right? but you always keep your doors open to kind of have them come in and speak to you at any point of time when they are stuck or when they are in a dilemma or when they just want to bounce off something with you. You keep your doors open. That's the way that I have been with any employee, also with the retail partners for that matter. I don't think there would be very many retail partners who would tell you that we've had a business discussion with Akash.
Correct.
Our discussions have more been in terms of, okay, what next? What next do we do for the industry? What next do we do for your business? That's the kind of relationship that I've had with everybody, because I can't attempt to kind of tell a retailer what to do. They are the ones who are facing the customer every day.
Correct.
They know what they are supposed to do. So yes, but then if you want to have a discussion around it, of course, we can at any point of time.
Correct. Since we came to retailer, I'm sure you have just casually said that retailer decides, but I know that you have helped many retailers scaling business, how they should do it going forward and how they can scale in a much more organized, in a better way. If you can just tell me few of, as an example, that what you पहले क्या होता था and what changes you felt it came, which you had recommended. If you can just give some of the examples of
So few things, Sachin, in a sense that one advantage that I had was coming in from the retail industry, right? So when you're talking about apparel retail, it is slightly more mature. At least at that point of time,
Correct.
it was more mature than what the optical industry was. So I had that advantage coming in. So I could see what is possible.
Okay.
Right. If you remember the kind of stores that we used to have at that point of time, it was selling from behind the counter.
Right.
The retailer used to decide what you show to a consumer. Right. And so one of the changes I remember, it was something that I used to push for a lot, was open your store.
Okay.
Right, remove the counters from your store. There was a lot of resistance, but then there were a lot of people who understood that the consumer needs to start interacting with the product.
Correct.
Right. Then it was also internal. Right. When e-commerce came in, the consumers were I like something, very good. If I don't like it, I return it and immediately I get a resolution. So I kind of questioned my team one day that why can't we do the same thing for us? If there is a complaint that we are getting, why does it take 2 months, 3 months for us to resolve that complaint?
Correct.
The response to the consumer, because at the end of the day, there is an irate customer who is standing at the counter looking for a solution. You can't go and tell the customer that it will take 2 months, 3 months to resolve. Right. So that's when we kind of came up with the concept of, so it's an app-based solution that we give.
If there's some defect or problem in frame,
immediate kind of a solution. In fact, the next thing on that will be that you will get a solution instantly. You won't even have to wait for that 1 hour that we take today. We are trying to leverage AI so that you get the solution immediately. Right. Okay. So these are the kind of changes per se. Right. So every day when you go in and you have this, let's say, I would not say freedom, but you have this bandwidth which is available to you, which helps you question what next. Okay. Right? That has been an interesting journey for the last 19 odd years that I've been here.
So one major thing happened in your career, which I feel which was really big, was like Luxottica and Essilor merger happening. It's like massive. And being in India where Essilor had too many different companies, maybe I'm sure आपको भी कईयों के नाम उस time पे नहीं याद होंगे कि कौन-कौन सी companies. There were so many, which there were few wholesale companies also and all that. So how that merger happened and what was your take on that? How difficult, I'm sure it would have been difficult for you also, getting everyone together under the same umbrella for India as a market. And at the end, of course, it was good for you because you then handled complete Essilor and Luxottica. I think you did for now about 4-5 years now.
So Sachin, I've had a lot of fun in the last about 3-4 years, right? And it has been primarily on account of the lens business.
Okay.
Right? Not that I did not like the frame business. Of course, I loved it, but I was getting a little bored.
Okay.
Lens made it a very, very interesting journey in the last 4 years. So let's not get into the operational part of it, right? Let's take let's say 10,000 feet up and start looking at it. We as Luxottica used to go into the market and we used to talk about that frames brand hai, and this is what you get to show, right? And the similarly the SLR team used to kind of go into the market and say frame, no, lens first. It is about your vision, right? And both of us somewhere were missing the point that the consumer is not buying a frame and a spectacle. A lens. He's
Correct.
buying a spectacle.
Spectacle.
Right. So that opportunity, right, of kind of combining world-class frames with technology-driven lenses, right, that thing was something which was very interesting. It still is. I had to unlearn a lot.
Okay.
Right. Even after spending about 15 odd years at that point of time in the industry, I still had to unlearn a lot and learn a lot of things in terms of how lenses work, how the lenses fit in the retailer ecosystem. Here, you are talking about an inventory model on the frame
Correct.
side. There, you are talking about service, and
Only
service means you are as good as the service delivered on your last order.
Correct.
This is a completely different world altogether. Right? So it's been very, very interesting there, and also a lot of opportunities there. Right? And you would see that, I'm sure there are some things which are already kind of happening, right, where frames and lenses together have kind of helped the ECP fight the disruptions out there in the market.
Okay.
Right, and that thing will continue. That is something that we are committed to, that we grow our business along with our retail partners, right, and there will be a lot that you will see in this area.
So I started my career with a lens brand. तो मुझे याद है मतलब that was a small marketing activity I personally did. Maybe I think GK or Lajpatna we used to stand with a printer. कस्टमर ने चश्मा पहना होता था, हम फोटो खींचते थे और एक अपना चश्मा पहनाते थे अपने लेंस के साथ. तो डिफरेंस दिखाते थे, देखो हार्ड कोट में आपको रिफ्लेक्शन आ रहा है और ARC में क्लियर आ रहा है. तो मतलब उस टाइम पे हमारे लिए क्या बढ़िया चीज़ थी. और अब नाउ आई कंपेयर इट, नाउ ARC तो चलो इट्स नाउ समथिंग, इट्स लाइक अ नॉर्मल थिंग. मतलब लेंस ले रहे हो तो इट इज़ विद ARC. ब्लू कट इज ऑल्सो नॉर्मल. Now you have so many different kind of coatings, plus transitions have scaled so much. So many different colors are there, so many different ranges are there. मतलब जैसे पहले index और coating होता था, वैसे transition में you have different categories now. So how all these things have changed? And
मैं जब आया था सचिन, in fact even about 15 odd years ago, glass lenses were still there.
Yeah, yes.
Right. Hardcore glass lenses, that is what it used to be.
Correct.
Right. Today, you are talking about a sophisticated design. You are talking about polymers. You are talking about multi-coats. You are talking about lenses suitable for digital life with blue cut. You are talking about light adaptive lenses like transitions, right? Then you are talking about lenses which are customized to your eye behavior. Right. So that is the kind of innovation and technological advancement that has happened on the lens side. In fact, the technological advancement on the lens side has been a lot more than what has happened on the frame side. Right? We don't realize it,
Correct.
but then that is the one which has also kind of really changed the game also in the optical industry. Right? So lenses, yes, it's there, but I still say we've got a long way to go on the lens side. If I talk about the UV exposure that we have in the country, I still feel light adaptive lenses or transition lenses, right? There is a lot more scope there, right? The next frontier is myopia. If
Correct.
1 in 4 children today are diagnosed with myopia, right? That's the next, let's say, holy grail.
Correct.
Right. So yes, there is a lot that still needs to be done on the lens side, but a lot that has also happened. I do give a lot of credit of that also to the team at SLR. Right. Why I say SLR was because they kind of established categories. For example, the progressive category was actually established and made by the team at SLR.
Like for paste, everyone say Colgate. I would say progressive के लिए Verilux.
Progressive, it was
Verilux.
Verilux invented progressive, yes. But if I talk about India as such, to teaching an ECP how to dispense a progressive was all done by the team at SLR. There was a lot of hard work that has gone in creating that category, right? And a huge amount of credit to them.
Interesting. Even I think coating Crizol is one of the coatings which
Crizal, yes.
everyone
The
knows that.
multi-coat Crizal is still, Crizal is a brand in India. It's
Correct.
not just a coating, it's a brand in India.
Correct. Correct. Interesting. So I was just thinking कि क्या बात करेंगे, but there are a lot of since we talked about how landscapes changed, the major thing which happened in last 10 years would be D2C brands coming in. So how you see that happening in Indian landscape, especially for the eyewear industry?
See, D2C brands forced us to look within ourselves. Right. The first thing that they did was they brought transparency to pricing. Right. And the other thing is, we may have started the process of kind of saying that frames are a fashion accessory, but they accelerated that. They made frames cool.
Correct.
Right. They made frames as a fashion accessory. Right. Then accessibility of vision care. Right. The sheer pace at which the DTC brands kind of made they kind of accelerated their stores. Right? They provided access to vision care. So a lot of credit to them from that angle. Like, having said that, the market is kind of still quite big. Right? There is a scope for everybody to be there. For an ECP today, the one thing that they need to start understanding, and a lot of them have done that, is they need to stop competing on price and they need to start competing on expertise and experience inside the store. Nobody can take away the multi-generational legacy and trust that they have built with their consumer base, and I think that is something that they need to focus on. They will have to modernize their stores, they will have to modernize their clinic, they will have to invest in the store staff, they would have to kind of look at the complete experience when they are managing a consumer. Right? But then the market is huge out there and it is still growing. That is one good thing about India. When today I'm reading some numbers saying that, okay, 60% of the India, 60% of India is less than 35 years old.
Correct.
Right. So it's a good market for youngsters. At the same point of time, when this 35 cohort starts touching the age of 40, right? Imagine the progressives that or the presbyopes that you will have, and the lens opportunity that you have. So there is an immense amount of opportunity out there. We need to start looking within ourselves to see what we need to do to improve our business or to take a decent market share from that business. I have this anecdote, which was one of the ECPs came to me and he said that, sir, ये मेरे बगल में ये खुल गया है, उधर ये खुल गया है, और ये वो मेरा धंधा है, and what do I do and stuff like that. I said, you are saying that all these guys have opened next to you, right? Why don't you do this? Stand in front of your store for half an hour in the morning and also stand in front of the other stores, right? Ask yourself this question: why should a consumer walk into my store and not walk into their store? And you'll have an answer.
100% I agree. I would, but many still have not learned that, I would say. Many still have not.
With the pace of change, Sachin, you can't run a business in 2026 with a 2005 mindset, right? You need to change your mindset, right? And there is sometimes it kind of hurts me, not hurt, but I take a lot of pain sometimes when I see people giving up, right? And at the same point of time, there are these people who said that, no, I understand what I'm supposed to do, and they've really pivoted, right? Specifically, if you look at, I give this example a lot, if you look at the independent retailers in Mumbai as a market, right? The way that they pivoted, I'm talking about stores. I'm not taking the example of any other market because Delhi, for example, independent retailers still have multiple stores.
Correct.
I'm talking about Mumbai as a market because I'm talking about independent retailers which had one store.
Correct.
And the way that they pivoted and the way that they kind of made a place for themselves,
How
right?
did they do that? Because मेरे को नहीं realize हुआ है. I have not been.
So if you
So
take
that-
an example of a lot of these independent retailers in Bombay, they realize that price is not the game that they will be able to play for very long. Right?
Okay.
So they started working on the in-store experience, upgrading their stores. Then looking at the assortment that is available inside the store. It is not about having everything, but it is about kind of focusing on the space that I have and the brands that give me the best stock turn.
Okay.
At the same point of time, keeping this small, let's say, flexibility, let's say 20% of the store, you keep that flexibility to work with niche brands, independent brands, right? To also get in that fashion element.
Okay.
So they completely repositioned themselves. So they repositioned themselves from just being a vision care provider to being a fashion consultant. Right?
Okay.
And that really changed the game for them.
Okay. I used to think, मतलब मेरे को personally, what numbers I feel is like South, Bangalore or Karnataka does the really best kind of a business if we compare to any other region, because the prescription and the way they sell prescription lenses are far better than any other region. Is it correct or wrong?
Tamil Nadu is a much bigger market.
Achha, okay.
Tamil Nadu is a much bigger market than Karnataka, right? Also because I feel, see, you've got Bangalore, Mangalore, Mysore, some key cities in Karnataka, but when you're talking about Trivandrum, right, the kind of markets that you're talking about, the density of high net worth or let's say high per capita individuals is a lot more. You're talking about markets like Coimbatore, you're talking about markets like Chennai, right? That was one. Secondly, traditionally, you've had the eye hospitals part being very, very strong
South,
in
that's
Tamil
true.
Nadu, right? So their propensity for lenses or their bias towards lenses has been a lot stronger.
And how you see tier 2 and tier 3 cities performing in this space?
I have been surprised. I have really been surprised. So the sheer amount of consumption that you see in these tier 2, tier 3 cities like Kanpur, cities like Lucknow, cities like Coimbatore, Aurangabad, right? They have this thing where the brands suddenly have found a lot of consumption in these markets, not because the brand is available there, but because the consumers have started identifying with these brands. Right? They know those brands, and social and digital, of course, has played a very important role there, because social and digital has kind of democratized fashion. These guys are as aware of fashion trends as, let's say, somebody in Mumbai or a Delhi would be.
Okay.
Right? And this will continue to grow. Right? India is not only about Delhi, Bombay. India is about the mass or the bulk of the population which is staying in these tier 2, tier 3 cities. As retail evolves, as per capita income grows, right, as aspirations of the young population of India grows, right, you would continue to see that explosion happening in tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Is these cities growing faster than metro cities?
Yeah,
In terms of percent?
of course, much more than the metro cities.
And competition would be less there than these cities, or that is same everywhere?
Fashion has been democratized, so has competition.
I asked someone. There was someone in Luxottica. I asked him how Akash sees competition. So what they told me that for Akash, agar competition hai, that means dhanda badega.
And I've always said that. I said, see, there are more people that come into the market. That means more people will be investing in the market.
Correct.
And when you are investing in the market, you are growing the category. If I, let's say, advertise with Shahid and with Kriti Sanon, if I am putting up hoardings all across the country today, right? And if somebody sees that hoarding and walks into the optical store, right, out of the 10 people that see the hoarding and walk into the optical store, probably 1 or 2 will end up buying a Vogue, but the balance 8 will buy something else. Right. Similarly, if somebody else is advertising and if a customer is walking into an optical store because of that advertisement, right, I will get a fair share out of those walk-ins. So that's how I see competition always. Competition is good. Competition is always good.
Correct.
Competition keeps you on your toes, but more than that, competition means that the category will grow.
Interesting. So we talked slightly about social media and also how you see social media growing over the period, and how do you think that opticians have been able to monetize that? They are very few, because I see there are many opticians who are putting some content and all, but I personally felt majority of them are not able to monetize, या उससे उनका धंधा नहीं, business नहीं बढ़ रहा.
I would not say that. I would not say that. See, there is one part is social selling, which is where you sell on sell digitally or through social media platforms, and the other is that you keep yourself in the conversation.
Okay.
Right. So if you separate the two, right? Yes, there are very few people who've been able to make success by selling on digital.
Correct.
Right. Not very many, and it's a tough, very tough journey, and it's a very expensive journey. But then there are those. If you separate the selling part of it, and if you concentrate only on the point of view that have I been able to create positive conversations about my brand, my retail brand, in the minds of the consumers, a lot of them have been able to do that. Okay. Right. And if your consumer today is on social media, right, you cannot ignore social media. You have to be there. And there are some really fantastic things that people have done, right? Whether they have been in influencer-led activities, whether they have been in-store activations which you kind of promote on social, right, or various other collaborating with brands and doing stuff on social media, right? So I would say we are not there, right, but we are not far behind. Definitely, we are not far behind.
Since we talked about Instagram, I see a lot of people selling fake also thing, and I have heard in past Luxottica has come forward and getting catching people who sell fake stuff online and all. So I really want to know from you that what all things you have done in past, and still it is happening. बहुत होता है. अब तो खैर independent brands आ गए तो उसका भी.
See, on a lighter note, I used to tell my team, अगर तुम्हारे ब्रांड का फेक आया तो मतलब यू आर डूइंग अ गुड जॉब.
I agree, but I think ये चीज ना पहले आज से 5 साल पहले it was okay.
So
but
we are quite so as a Silol Luxottica, right? We are quite vigilant as far as fakes is concerned. So it is not only social media. There are various angles to it.
Okay.
So first and foremost is we work very strongly with the customs department. Okay. So all our brands are registered with the customs authority. What it also means is that if anybody is importing any of our brands, right, with our brand name, if anybody is importing that, the customs will inform us. They're bound to inform us, right? We would go, we would inspect. 10 out of 10 times the goods are fake because we are the only ones who are authorized to import. Right? Those goods are then impounded, and then there is a complete legal process that needs to be followed. Okay. So it's a deterrent, right? That is point number one. Point number two is when you go actively into the market. So we have a lawyer, IP lawyers who do this day in and day out. They go into the market actively trying to find out who are those guys who are selling fakes. Okay. So they would seek those guys out. They would do a trap purchase, then work with the police and the courts to do a action raid, right? And then the legal process takes over. The third is where these social media platforms come in, right? So where we have a team, again, it's done through a third party, which monitors these websites internationally. Because with digital, one thing is there, you cannot do it geographically in one area, right? It has to be global. Correct. So there are many thousands of listings that are taken down every year. Also, the social media handles help. So Meta, for example, works very strongly with Silol Luxottica. They've been working with us for many years, not only because of what we are doing with them today, but even earlier they work very strongly with us. So in fact, a lot of our opticians, they had an issue when they were posting content of our brands on social media platforms. Meta actually asked them to take an authorization from us that they are genuine sellers or resellers of those brands, right? So these kind of controls is something that we've had for many years, right? And that has helped us also to preserve the, or rather, let me say, that's our way of respecting the brands that we deal with.
Interesting. So you have seen, I have seen this trend in last 5 years of independent brands coming into picture. Brands outside Luxottica, Kering, Safilo, Marcolino, and all that. So how you see this happening? And but from an optician point of view, I feel it's kind of a competition for a brand like Luxottica or Kering, and also especially for Luxottica, I feel like what is there in the space of 50,000 or a lakh rupee frame or a sunglass, because that's a kind of a gap which Luxottica have in their portfolio.
So, a lot of questions.
Sorry.
So, first things first. Uh, Independent niche brands is a sign of maturity,
Correct.
right? And I think it's a very, very good sign, right?
Okay.
That we've started dealing in those brands, and some of those brands have kind of also getting a lot of traction in our markets, is a sign of maturity of the optical market. It's a very, very good sign, right? Slightly different take here,
Okay.
right? We in India have been known for our craftsmanship and our artisans for centuries,
Correct.
right? Why don't we have an own global Indian independent brand?
Correct.
Right? And I would really love to see somebody, an Indian brand, right, having a stall in that Mido section, which is preserved for independent brands. I would love to see an independent brand over there. I hope that time comes in the near future, right? So that's one. Luxottica not being in the luxury, let's say the true luxury area, yes, that is something I can't do anything about it. But yes, that's a part of the portfolio that we sorely miss for sure, right? But if you look at it from our perspective in terms of what Essilor Luxottica is good at, is distribution, right? Is about let's say we do very well with popular luxury. We cannot, or rather, let me not say we cannot, but then we would struggle with the limited edition concept,
Correct.
right? When you have 18,000 stores of your own, right? Limited edition does not work for us, right? So yes, so maybe that is the reason why we never ventured into that part of the portfolio or that space. But we are now doing a lot of stuff which is done in Japan, specifically Japanese acetate, precious materials, titanium that is coming out of Japan within our popular luxury brands.
Okay.
Right. So that's a part of the portfolio that is kind of growing also very much. But a true luxury brand, no, we don't have one in our portfolio today.
So I asked you about independent because of specific reason. I have seen in Luxottica what I follow on LinkedIn, Insta, and all. I feel that I'm not sure if you have seen that a brand like Oliver People, which I see stores coming up. I think that's coming due to a reason, like they also Luxottica also want to portray that they are also into craftsmanship. For them, independent brands matter, and that's the reason that they want to place it.
See, this is also because the consumer is changing, right? There are, if I look at it, even with the global context, right? There is this consumer base, which is the middle of the pyramid. They've worked very hard, right? Arrived in life, and for them, brands become important because that is their way of showing that they've arrived in life.
Okay.
Right. That is where your popular brands or popular luxury or popular premium brands, whatever the segment might be, they become important. Then there is this other set of consumer, right, who says, I don't need to show what I can afford. I need to show what I am.
Correct.
And that is where brands like Oliver Peoples, for example, come in, or a lot of these independent brands also come in that arena.
Okay.
Right. So it is not to be seen in the context of luxury only.
Okay.
And these could also be brands which need not be true luxury.
Got it.
Right. But it is because these are those brands where the values of these brands align with the values of the consumer. And the consumer says that the story behind the brand is my story. And I would want to identify myself with that story. I want to show the world this is who I am. That is also one of the reasons why you would see brands like Oliver Peoples, for example, existing in the portfolio that we have today.
Got it. So, one of the biggest achievement Luxottica had was having Meta. So, I really want to know more about what's happening in that smart AI portfolio, and I'm sure अब चाहे कोई भी company आ जाए, but Luxottica Meta got first mover advantage, and you already have such a big distribution. So, it's difficult for any second brand to come in and fill that gap, because you have already filled it so much. So how is that happening?
First mover advantage तो नहीं बोलूँगा, because Google Glass came in about 10-12 years ago.
वो आया और गया वाला है.
See, let me make a prediction here, right? In the coming decade, or rather within this decade, right, majority of the frames that will be sold will be smart frames.
Majority,
right? Will be smart frames, and quite a significant number of them will be with smart lenses, right? Now, why do I say this? Had you heard about AI, let's say 3 years ago?
No.
Right? And look at AI today. The pace of evolution is very, very fast today. You cannot ignore the digital space today, right? You have to have a way of integrating seamlessly into that digital world. Smart eyewear gives you that opportunity. If you look at your face, this is probably the most valuable biometric real estate on the human body. You've got visual, eyes, you've got audio, which is speech, you've got hearing, everything here.
Okay.
So when you want to integrate seamlessly into the digital world, right? This is the natural space where the variable will sit. So that's the reason I am saying this. Right? That the majority of the frames that will be sold going forward, right? I'm not saying that it is happening in the next year or it is happening in the next 2 years, but then by the end of this decade, for sure, majority of the frames that will be sold will be smart frames. When a consumer has an option of wearing a smart frame over a normal frame, right? Quite a significant number of them will choose a smart frame. Right? But there is one thing that everybody needs to keep in mind, and specifically companies need to keep in mind. They need to, they are not making a gadget for the face.
Okay.
They need to remember that they are making a spectacle frame first. So here, form will always triumph over function.
Okay.
So what Meta and Ray-Ban did, they addressed that. Right? If you remember the Google Glass, in fact, I had tried it many years ago.
You have tried it? Oh.
Right?
Which had
it used
small
to be
lens
heavy. It used to have that contraption over here. So because of that, the frame used to kind of tilt a little. Then they put in counterweight on the other side. It became very heavy. Right? So that was a gadget. Right? So you have to understand that you are not designing a gadget for the face. First and foremost, it is a frame. It is an optical frame. Or a sunglass frame. That is the first thing that you need to understand. Yes, there is a first mover advantage that Ray-Ban and Meta have. But I think what Google and Samsung are doing with Gentle Monster and with Bobby Parker now, right? I hear also Kering would also be coming into this arena, right? So that's when fashion starts becoming an integral part of these smart glasses, right? Why would you choose otherwise?
Got it.
So yes, it's going to be a very interesting space going forward, for sure.
And how you see India in that zone?
Since
you have the numbers also, that's why I'm asking.
We have 900 million odd consumers which are connected to, let's say 5G or broadband, right, or to the internet, right? So India is going to be up there. By the way, I don't know if you know this, or a lot of people know this. India was the only market in APAC, right, to launch Ray-Ban Meta.
Yeah.
In fact, other APAC markets have launched just about a month ago.
Yeah.
Right. So India was the first market that it was launched. It is simply because we are one of the largest markets for Facebook and Instagram both. Right. So let's say for Meta, we are the largest market for Meta in the world, one of the largest, and I think for some cases we are the largest. I'm not 100% sure about those numbers, right? But then after the US, I think we would be the number one, right? And then for Reman also, for example, we are there in the top 5 markets of the world, right? So it was a natural thing that we kind of get the brand first.
We talked about smart glasses. So there was something which is not here, but काफी कुछ बातें हुई. So I want to know what is a perfect optician for you. Let's say अगर किसी को एक चश्मे का दुकान खोलना है, तो what all things will you guide him? Some 5-6 pointers which you want that he should know.
परफेक्ट ऑप्टिशियन फॉर मी इज कि जो अपनी बगल वाले ऑप्टिशियन को ना देखे,
Okay.
अपनी दुकान में देखे कि व्हाट इज माय कंज्यूमर लुकिंग फॉर, राइट, एंड व्हाट वर्क्स फॉर मी एंड व्हाट डज नॉट वर्क फॉर मी,
Okay.
right. So I have this thing which I kind of keep on saying, when in our business profitability is not an issue, right. What the issue primarily is cash flow.
Correct.
Right. And what I mean with cash flow is one wrong buy, right, and your complete business can turn upside down. Right. So you need to start looking at inventory like perishable milk, right?
Okay.
Stop treating it like fine wine. It is not give us the more it stays on the shelf, the more valuable it will become. It is not that, right? Your inventory needs to be treated like, if it is there in my shelf today, it needs to sell tomorrow, right? Because there is an opportunity cost of the space. Rents are not going down. Real estate is extremely expensive. Rentals are really expensive, right? Each square feet that you have inside the store has an opportunity cost associated with that. That's the first thing that you need to look at. Second is, when you have money which is trapped in inventory, means that it is working capital which is not generating any return for you.
Okay.
Right. So that's the other thing that you need to start looking at. So a perfect optician for me is somebody who is looking at first understanding and defining what do I stand for. Why should a consumer walk into my store? So am I a optician which has a premium positioning or a luxury positioning, or am I a mass or whatever, right? So you need to first define that and accordingly decide which brands you want to keep inside the store, and within those brands looking at which are the brands that are working and which are the brands which are not. So here I think data and agility are your best friends, right? Data in terms of what is working, what is not working, you need to be ruthless. That is where agility comes in. Move on.
Okay.
Because this thing on my shelf today is hindering what else I could have sold, right, from the same space. So move on. Don't get stuck with what. There are wrong buys that will happen. Nobody has a crystal ball. There will be wrong buys that will happen, but then move on, right? That's one. The second thing is the market is changing very, very fast. The consumer is changing very fast. Right? The consumer today when a consumer walks into a store, he knows more about the brands than sometimes what we do. Correct. Because they have researched that one particular brand. Right? That is where investing in the frontline staff becomes extremely important. Investing in training becomes very, very important, right? So that's the other area that I would want a perfect optician to look at.
Okay.
Then the in-store experience, the way the brands are treated and the way the brands are presented. I think that's the other area that we need to start looking at much more. Then simple things like the lighting that you have inside the store, right? How do you differentiate one area versus the other? Then the other thing where I still feel a lot of work needs to happen is the clinic part of it. Clinic is still today a room in the corner of the store, right? Which you kind of, it's not, okay, some of them have kind of transformed the clinic into a much more pleasurable experience, a much more, let's say, good experience, a premium experience, but a lot of work that needs to go into that part too. Because gone are the days where you would just kind of take the measurement and you would tell the consumer, this is your power and now go choose your frame and your lens. Right? Now I think we need to move towards a consultation phase, which is where once you've done a comprehensive eye exam, right, you need to kind of sit with the consumer, explain what is it that the consumer can expect out of the pair of spectacles that will be done for the consumer. So that means understanding the needs, understanding the lifestyle, let's say, lifestyle of the consumer, which helps you define the lenses that you would want to kind of prescribe to the consumer. So a lot of work needs to happen there. So for that, the clinical part of it is something that still a lot of work needs to do. And one thing I have been speaking to a lot of the opticians today, and I've been telling them is they need to start charging for the eye test, because when you're giving that kind of service and that kind of a comprehensive exam, right, and you're spending that chair time with the customer, with the patient, you need to charge for it. Right? There is this respect that we need to start building for the optometrist and the optician, and that cannot happen if the services that they provide are free of cost.
But I don't think anyone is charging. I don't think any big.
There are
even
some.
they are
There are some who are charging. In fact, I say that okay, it will not be a change that will happen all of a sudden, but then there could always be an option. You could say that okay, I can give you a normal eye exam which will take, let's say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Or I can give you a comprehensive eye exam which will take about 20 minutes to half an hour, but then there will be a charge of $500 or $1,000 for that eye exam, right? And we need to start respecting that optometrist who is there inside the store.
I saw your instrument SLOs, that VAM 800 Jaipur mein an optician had. So he did that examination. Beautiful. जो वो
That's
print
what I'm
out निकल के 4-5
In
पेज
fact,
का
that
आता
is
है.
one of the opticians who's charging for an eye exam.
I think yeah, he's charging.
He charges for an eye exam, and because if you are investing in the top of the line instrument, and that instrument is really good in terms of the comprehensive eye exam that it does, it does everything just short of what an ophthalmologist would do.
Correct. I agree. Right.
And it gives you good advice. It also helps you, for example, grading of your cataract, or it will help you in terms of identifying if there is an underlying medical condition. Right? So all those things are possible with that. Checking your eye pressure, for that matter. So all those things are possible. Now, when you are doing all of that, you should be charging.
So you talked about retail opticians and all, and will you like to give some inputs to also from the vendor point of view? People like Luxottica, there are many other brands similar who deals with opticians. So do you think that they also need to evolve over the time, or they have already evolved a lot, or there's still some gap?
ऐसा नहीं है, Sachin. See, there is always scope for improvement. Let me put it this way: it is not about me giving any advice to anybody, right? It is maybe okay. One thing that I can tell everybody is embrace iterative thinking, right? What I mean by that is, none of us have this magical crystal ball which will tell us whether we'll be successful doing this or not. But if we don't do anything at all, then we are going to be stuck where we are. If we have to evolve, we will need to take some risks. We will have to embrace iterative thinking, meaning if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, move on and try the next thing. It should not be that I have tried something, it did not work, so now I will not do anything. Because then you will stay stuck where you are. So that's the only thing that I would advise everyone, right? And it is not only for retailers; it is for everybody actually. It is even for companies, right? That's the way that we grew, and that's the best way to experiment, move forward.
Okay. So you have been in a kind of a leadership role since so long. So any core leadership quality you want to share with your audience or with the industry?
First and foremost, respect your team, right? Your team is there for a reason. Don't try and do their jobs, right? They know what is to be done, right? That I would say is number one. Number two for me, and this is more a mantra than anything else, is the how is more important than the what. Right.
How you do it is more important.
See, when you are the industry leader, you are also kind of writing the playbook, right? Everybody in the industry is looking at you, right? And at that point of time, how you get to where you are also defines how the industry will move going forward, right? So there, it's extremely important that how you achieve your goals is more important than kind of achieving your goals, right? Okay, let me put it in another way. So the second thing is, and this is more of a mantra than let's say leadership quality. It is the how is more important than the what.
Okay.
This is something that I keep on telling my team, and it is not important to achieve something. Yes, it is, right, but it is more important to define how we are going to be getting there. Because when you are an industry leader, you are also defining the playbook. You are writing the playbook, right? So it's all the more important that you define very, very clearly how am I getting there, because you would always want to leave a positive legacy behind, right? The third thing, and this is, let's say, a learning from this industry. I came in from retail, and in retail we used to say retail is detail, right? Here I would say leadership is relationship, right? And relationship with respect.
Correct.
You do not get to a leadership position without earning the respect from across generations of, let's say, our retail partners for that matter, right? The kind of respect that I've got across generations, it could not have happened without the relationship and the respect that I've had for them. I would say, yes, these are the three things that stand out for me.
Interesting. So, over the period of time, you would have seen there's many opticians have grown up. So, people now say that it is very difficult for a C category optician to survive and scale. So, how you see A, B, and C category moving in next 5 years? Do you also see if they don't change, it will be difficult for them to survive?
So the simple answer is no. There is enough for everybody, right, to grow. I don't remember the numbers offhand, but then there was some market predictions and analysis that we had done, right? What it showed was that if I look at the total market, let's say being, it's estimated that it's about 3.2 billion euros is what the total market in India is today, right? In that market, there are certain percentage that an ECP has today, which is close to about 70 odd % of the market is with ECPs. And then you have this organized trade, your brick and mortar, your click and mortar, which is primarily the D2C brands, right? And then you have your e-commerce and everything, which is there in that balance 30 odd %. When you do a prediction, let's say what the market will be 6, 7, 8 years down the line, right? You do see the share of D2C brands going up. It's almost doubling than what it is right now, right? Let's say if it is at about 9, 10% today, right? It is growing up to, let's say, 17, 18, 20% going forward. But then, and that is happening primarily at the cost of the ECP.
Correct.
Right. The ECP share is probably from 70% coming down to 60%. But that 60% of that 70% of 3.2 billion today is roughly about $2.1 billion.
Correct.
Euros, sorry. Euro. If the total market becomes, let's say, 4.5, 5 billion down the line, 60% of that 5 billion is 3 billion. 3 billion. So versus the 2.1 billion today, right, the market becoming 3 billion euros, right? So that is 50% more than what the market is today, or the share that the revenue that I have today, which is for me for the taking. So it is this thing of, okay, these brands are growing, so they are growing at my expense. No, it is not that. The overall market is growing. And if the overall market is growing, I will get my fair share. Right? I might, yes, there will be some parts of the market which will grow stronger. Right, D2C will be one part of the market which will probably go stronger. Maybe e-commerce will be a part which will grow stronger. Maybe eye hospitals will be a part which will grow stronger. Right, but then there is enough for everybody, and that is what we should be focused on. Right? I need to look at my business. I need to understand what do I stand for. That's the first question I need to answer. What do I stand for? Why will a consumer walk into my store? Right, and I'm there. And specifically when you're talking about sea towns, for example, you talked about sea towns. I think there the potential is the strongest going forward. Right? Because as the aspirations of a younger India grow, right, as the per capita income of a younger India grows, right, these are the towns where you will see an explosion in consumption.
Even D2C brands, I see a lot of brands do really good business in these tier 2, tier 3 cities. Then,
They would, but look at the plus side. They are the ones who are creating the category.
I would agree 100%. They are
When
the
that
one. They are
when
the
that
one.
consumer who has started with the D2C brand, when the consumer says, "Ki, no boss, now I need to, now I've arrived in life, I've got a promotion, I need to start entering the world of brands," where do you think the guy will go? He will walk into a nearest optician.
Correct.
Right. In fact, eyewear, in a way, is the cheapest entry into luxury and premium where you can flaunt the brand. Perfumes is probably the cheapest, but then you cannot carry along a perfume
Correct.
bottle. And eyewear is the cheapest entry into
Someone
luxury.
else also told me the same thing, which I was able to relate, that it is easiest to flaunt
Flaunt
in
and
that
then-
price
So
point also.
If I have to kind of announce to the world that I've arrived in life, buy a pair of premium glasses.
Correct. Great. So, just one small thing before we close. So, I have taken some pictures of one of the best, fastest moving models, and few which didn't work really good. But then I wanted your take on that how that happened. So, these are the ones. So, you can move, I think, right. So, this is something which I feel was the fastest selling clip-on in India.
Emporio Armani clip-on has been a revelation.
Huh?
Right. It's
When was it launched?
This is about 6-7 years now.
It's 6-7 years.
It has been there for quite some time. It sells like hotcakes.
Correct. It is always out of stock at any store.
One of our distributors in Mumbai, I don't know if he still has it, but he had this beat plan where this guy used to move with ready stock of Emporio Armani clip-ons, going from door to door and distributing, selling only this one product.
Oh. And it is still doing really good now?
It's still doing well. Now there are a lot of other clip-ons,
Yeah.
right? This is not the only one,
Correct.
right? But yeah, it is still doing well. I think what they got right was the form and function both.
Correct.
Right, clip-ons have happened earlier also, but then the way that this was designed and the way that it stuck on to it did not look like
a clip-on. And the price point was also
the price point was also very good.
Like you get almost 2 sunglasses and 1 spectacle Emporio Armani.
Value for money.
No, I think Polaroid was also there.
Polaroid was also there. Okay. The next one, 17WS.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, and I'm honest, the first time I saw it, I said, "Ye nahi bikega."
Achha, okay.
It was heavy. Temple is heavy, chunky, right? Small frame. Right. In India, we had not seen these kind of things doing well.
Correct.
Right. I remember I was in one of the WhatsApp groups, right, and there was one of the this was in short supply. So there was one of these optician who was desperately looking for 117WS for one of his premium customers. Right, so he put it in that WhatsApp group. So the answer that he got was, "कि बेटा किडनी मांग ले, ये मत मांगियो."
Oh.
Then
And do you think model like this worked because of celebrities wearing it? Or otherwise also it would have worked?
Celebrities definitely brought attention to it. Right. In fact, this was launched as a women's model. Now it is a unisex.
Yes, I was about. It looks like a woman's model, but
Now it's a unisex,
now
and
it's
I think Ranveer Singh. So we placed one with Deepika. It was white in color.
Okay.
We placed it with Deepika Padukone. Ranveer Singh and Deepika has actually said that in an interview that he has this habit of reading my wardrobe.
Okay.
So he took this white 17WS from Deepika and wore it, and then the rest is history. So this is there. Next, Ray-Ban Reverse.
Reverse, yes.
Interesting
I really liked
innovation,
it, but
very interesting innovation, right? But it did not do very well. Let me put it this way.
is it only for India or globally also?
Globally, I think they got the optics right. Right, but then for some of the consumers, their eyelash was touching the lenses, right? So that's where reverse is not something that did very well. It is still around. It's not that it is dead. It is still around, but did not get the kind of traction that, let's say, Mirror did. The Mirror was an innovation that Ray-Ban got. Those bright neon color lenses and stuff. So compared to something like that, right? I'm talking about lens innovations. Compared to an innovation like that, this did not do that well.
I really loved one color of this model, जिसमें वो gold, pink gold or royal gold with a blue color lens of that reverse aviator.
Yeah.
I really love that color, and lens का color भी and frame का color. It's very nice. So this fourth one is like
The fourth one
20
is
years it is selling. I really want to know that Luxottica didn't had anything similar to this. Did you ever thought?
Let me put it this way: if Silhouette does such a fantastic product, we don't need to have another Me Too.
Okay.
No, but then this is really a fantastic product. So this is the Silhouette rimless frame for people who cannot see this. It is a fantastic product, no doubt. It is a fantastic product, right? And Silhouette is known for this.
Correct. Rimless, lightweight.
Lightweight, rimless.
Interesting. Great. So we will end this here, but still coming back to first question, which you said you are going in a similar parallel world of this only, but still you don't want to share it right now.
Monday you will come to know.
Achha, okay. Great. But I'm sure Delhi mein weather अच्छा होगा. Still you can think to go to Bombay on Monday.
Bombay monsoon comes before Delhi, so
Okay.
no. Bombay is Sachin, also on a personal note, right? When you spend 19 years with an organization, right? It's very difficult to let go, right?
Correct.
And this movement to Mumbai kind of helps me in some ways to cut off. If I would have stayed in Gurgaon, it would have been very difficult for me not to go to the Luxottica office where I've gone for the last 19 years. Right? It would have been very, very difficult for me to do that. Right? So at some level, this movement to Mumbai is good. I'm looking forward to a new culture. Right? I have moved around in the past. I've worked in Bihar, I've worked in MP, I've worked in Bangalore. Right? So, I have moved around a lot. But for the last about 20-22 years, I've been in the NCR region. Right? So it gives me an opportunity to experience a new culture. I've been to Bombay many times, right? I've been traveling to Bombay for the last 25-30 years. I've been traveling to Bombay, but traveling there for work versus staying there and experiencing a different culture is a completely different thing. I am a foodie by nature.
Okay.
Right? I love the Mumbai food,
Okay.
right? So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. Right? So yeah. Wish me the best.
Best of luck, sir. Really nice, and thanks for your time. And,
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you. Thanks a
We'll
lot.
meet soon in Bombay.
Yes, we will. And whenever you are in Bombay,
Sure.
right, it's an open invitation to you, right? Please come over,
Sure,
right, and we'll have a few drinks.
Done, sir. Done.
Done.
Fine.
Thanks, Sachin.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Thank
Sachin.
you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Sachin.